Oh boy, I got the weather already. Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and I'm your host, Ellie. Kind of a sad day here at my house. Everybody's sick with the flu, for one. I'm recatching it, but I'm doing okay. I'm little fevers. Um, but this morning, our bird, I might have to get a picture of this bird for you guys. It's a blue one, it's a blue parakeet. I found him at the bottom of the cage. He's still alive. He keeps climbing up to the top and he drinks a lot of water, then he goes back down to the bottom of the cage. Um, and I have known from past parakeets that I've had that when they start hanging out the bottom of the cage, that's it. That's all she wrote. We might have quiet shows. No, I'm not getting another bird. No, I've dealt with so many birds at last oh gosh, 20 years of parakeets and noise. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna have a quiet house. But sad, very sad, and it's kind of getting to me a little bit. Uh, I kind of like this little fella. He chirped and he sang pretty, not like the other one that squawked. Um, I was getting to like this one's making songs, starting to do songs and trying to talk. So, um, how, well, he's not the last one. See, I now my immortal, a green one, the original. His name was. uh, we had a white one and a green one, and we named them Original and Extra Crispy. Well, Extra Crispy didn't make it, but about 5 years. And we got another one in, and it didn't make it a year. And then we had Original that made it, get this, 12 years. When I told my vet and I told the pet shop about it, they said they don't live that long, that maybe five. So we were calling them the Immortal. I changed him from Original to the Immortal. Um, oh boy, I got the dog in. Um, and so and then my granddaughter wanted parakeets because she missed them. And I was like, well, we still got the cage. Your house. Well, then my daughter had the house fire. Well, I've had some stuff happen the last few years. Her husband tried to kill her. He tried to choke her out, pulled a gun on us. Um, it took three of us to get him off of her. And then lo and behold, weirdly, I had some threats by somebody, and then her house burned. So I got the birds after that. Um, and so it was a white one and a blue one. And so the white one passed away, you guys know, a few months, oh, what, about 3 months ago, Karen? It hadn't been long. And so now we got this blue one. Well, this blue one is trying to talk and sing. And so I've been, doing little parakeet. I get on YouTube and do nonstop 10-hour songs of parakeets where they're talking and singing. And he was picking up on it. And he was a happy little bird lately. And then this morning, lo and behold, I found him at the bottom of the cage. He's and I thought, okay, that's it. So I turned off the lights around him, and I figured, he was sitting there with his eyeballs closed. So I turned off the lights, and lo and behold, he went up and drank a bunch of water, and now he's on the upper stick and the swing, and it's like I I don't know. I'm gonna let Bird be Bird. Maybe he just had an upset stomach. I don't know. I don't know parakeet lingo, and I don't know parakeet. Uh, I just know when they're on the bottom of the cage, they pass away. Um, so, um, all right. Uh, so, um, so Mary, did you find a place? Someone give Mary a house. Mary needs a house. I need a dress. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at I'm gonna have to go get a new Mrs. Claus dress. Um, the fur around the bottom, they call it faux fur. Faux fur, I guess is what they call it. I cannot get the dirt out of the bottom of this dress. I've tried and tried and tried, and I'm gonna have to look at another dress. Um, So I'm asking if you guys want to pitch in to help me pay for a new dress. It would be, oh man, it would just be lovely. If not, I'm going to cover it, but if you guys want to pitch in, my last one was donated by a woman that passed away. Part of my court TV people, and one that had worked at the White House. She passed away, and she bought me my last one. And I thought about it. Everything that with Mrs. Claus has been donated or bought for me, and I don't want to stop that. Um, so if you're interested, let me know. Send me an email or text, and I'll give you the details and where to go. They're not that expensive. They're about $50. Um, I'm looking at one that's right about 30. That's going to replace what I have. And I'm searching right now because I got I got a white stole that goes with it. I got a nice beautiful hood. I got the gloves and the wig. I might even get me a new wig this year. And I pay for the wigs. But so if you're interested, just let me know. So, uh, Mary found, oh, here we go. Mary found a place and she's moving in right now. Cool. Don't you just hate, folks, um, um, don't you just hate moving in with other people? It's just hard. And we're seeing that a lot lately. And guess what? Thanksgiving, 1 in 3 people aren't even having Thanksgiving. I mean, I hate to bring sad news to you guys, but that means the poor. The poor is not doing Thanksgiving this year. And when I hear that, I see Pelosi, I see Biden, I see a lot of these politicians, even Republicans, sitting there with this great big turkey with their family and the whole table spread, and what is it? Saint Nicholas. You guys ever heard that poem? Um, um, it's something, he had so much food that he had to tumble out of bed, and there was Nicholas, oh, St. Nicholas. He was stuck by the belly in the chimney because he ate so much. Um, and this, it just reminds me that greed. Nancy Pelosi showing us all her expensive ice cream. And I know I don't like to get political on the show, but this is something that needs to be pointed out. If by chance you can take a turkey or something to the food banks, do it. 1 in 3 people can't do Thanksgiving this year. My whole family's sick. We don't know. We're going day to day if we're even going to have Thanksgiving. We're thinking about postponing it. We um, we've had death in the family, and it's not my family, it's my granddaughter's. And I think that's what she was kind of kind of saying, or a sickness. And she is out of town and won't be back till next week. And she said, why don't we just postpone it? And then everybody will be well and everybody can be there. But it's just hard to say no Thanksgiving and we'll do it next week. Um, so think about this, folks. There's 1 in 3 people out there that cannot do Thanksgiving this year. And I'm thinking it's the working poor, sadly. Uh, yeah, um, a wig. Yeah, I get, uh, there you go. Yes, Mrs. Claus wears a wig. Everybody said just dye your hair. And I was like, no, I don't want to be gray yet. I have covered my grave for so many years. I don't want to be gray. I get the Marie Antoinette wig because it's so cool. It's the best Mrs. Claus wig I can find, and the little hat fits perfectly on the top, and it's got the curls in the front. It's beautiful, and it wouldn't, I wouldn't keep buying it if I didn't get so many compliments on it. Um, yeah, the disabled and the veterans. William, don't forget the veterans. Boy, I'm going to run a hard show today. Um, um, the disabled are having a very hard time. Well, I'm considered one of them, even though I do a show. Um, but the veterans, I'm worried about the veterans and my friend Ed. Ed scrapes by, folks. And I hate to talk about him without him being in the room. But I call him my favorite veteran, Ed. He scrapes by every year. He don't get benefits. He don't get the welfare because he's a veteran, and he depends on veteran administration um, funding to be anywhere. He get this. He has been place to place to place to place because he just cannot afford living where he's at. And once his electric bill or his gas bill goes too high, then he's got to move again because he can't afford it. Um, and so now, if you're interested in helping Mr. Ed McGinnis out, let me know in the emails. He would love it. He has got a hold of me plenty of times about money to borrow, and I have not been in a position where I could send him anything when he does it. Every time anybody asks for me for money, I'm not able to do it, and I feel bad. And it's coming into the Christmas season. If you want to send Ed something for Christmas, that'd even be great. Um, so Karen says she's disabled. So um, anyway, and also they say the birthday thing. I'm working on my birthday donation. I'm kind of late. It's Chicks for Kenya. Um, and I have not been able to get a hold of this guy this last week. And I was hoping to do it for my birthday, but I was unable to get a hold of him yet. And it helps people of Kenya. And I totally support this guy. I've mentioned him before, and we used to put money in plastic eggs and send it to the kids, and they would be so excited to open it. I think it's chicksforkenyas.org. And they're on Facebook, and they do take donations. His name is Jim Cooper. You might find him like that too, under Jim Cooper. Also, they have many different PSAs, which is an ad on YouTube. So, boy, I'm sorry, folks. I'm just me and the bird thing is just not good today. So we have lots of snow in Canada. Boy, Canada's going to get nailed. And did you hear there was like 74, I think 74 inches of snow in New York, and they're expecting more. Now we have got snow going through, they say, the upper portion of the panhandle of um, uh, Texas. Texas, right above, is going to get hit with a little bit of snow. And then as it moves across, we're going to have rain for Thanksgiving. I don't mind the rain for Thanksgiving. I can open my doors. You know how it is. Your ovens heat the house up so bad. And I do this all day. I end up in basically a tank top and shorts on Thanksgiving because it's so hot. I do pies and turkey, and I got a double oven, so I got two ovens. And I just got them both going all day long. And I have to open up the house because it's so hot. So let's get on with the weather and earthquakes. Oh my goodness, folks, did you hear about the new earthquake? They said it was a 7.3. They're bouncing. These sevens are going back and forth, back and forth. Will we see it go up to? And we heard about. And I don't mean to change, but we heard about the volcano up around Alaska. Then boom, boom, we have these 7.0s or greater that has hit in between Mexico and Indonesia. And it's kind of going back and forth, back and forth. And then, of course, Mexico. I believe I'm on that there is going to be something in Alaska because it keeps hitting this little triangle thing. And I'll show you that in a few minutes. All right, let's get to the weather. And we got Miss Davis, and um, here she is.
High pressure is in control across much of the nation except for the
Oh, it's not
northwest and the
Davis.
southeast as
Oops.
we roll into this Tuesday.
Sydney,
So some
Miss
rainfall
Sydney. I'm
possible from
sorry.
Tampa southward down to Miami. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Nashville 60 under sunny skies. From the plains, you're looking at Bismarck 36, Oklahoma City in the 50s with fog across North and West Texas to start you off. There'll be some rain in Seattle and Portland today. Also looking for some mountain snow and wintry mix in the northwest. Your forecast going into Wednesday gets a bit more active in the Rockies. So for Montana, for Wyoming, down into Colorado, look for a chance of snow. Billings 41, Boise 40. Los Angeles, Phoenix, sunny skies, look for highs in the 70s. Houston 69. St. Louis comes in at 62, and it's sunny in Chicago with a high temperature in the mid 50s. Still some rain possible across Florida. New York looks great. Skies will be sunny. Look for a high of 53 degrees.
Wow. You know what I noticed was Florida's getting a lot of rain, lots of rain, and they're flooding. Different parts of Florida is now flooding, um, and it didn't show the Thanksgiving forecast, which will probably be tomorrow. So not only that, but they say there's plane delays, folks. If you're traveling this time of year, you got to expect it. And you know they get mad every year. They're like, the travelers are like, oh, it's horrible, and we're delayed, and we're in long lines, and but they know that's happened forever in history. Quit complaining. Yeah, quit complaining. So, 80s down in Florida, and even Arizona, but you know that's what the way it is in the wintertime. All right, we're going to move on. And of course, we need to take a look at this map. Oh boy. Look at this, folks. They're all equally spaced, which is to me scary. We had one, I'm going to go over to the Mid Atlantic Ridge, and it was a 5.2 in the Azore Islands region, which is odd. And then get this, the newest one was a 6.2. No, I hate it when they change this because we were at a 7.0 for Brisas, Mexico. It was only 30 miles deep. It wasn't all that deep. And then over in, oh boy, and I think they had two big ones. What the heck? What are they doing? All right, 7.0 in Malango, Solomon Islands. I seen this as a 7.3, and what hit behind it was a 7.0, and then it slowly went down with the aftershocks. At least this is having aftershocks. We have not been seeing that. Now, up in the corner, Kamachaks, Stary, Russia, a 5.1. So, um, and what do we have down in South America? 4.5 in Peru. And another little one in Argentina, 4.2. Over in, looks like Kazakhstan, a 4.3. China, 4.5. And Afghanistan, 4.2. Then we had Japan region, 4.6. Something isn't right here. Something, um, man, the ones down in Indonesia, this looks about right. And over in South America. But then when you start looking at Japan to Alaska and then down the coast, something's missing. There should be something in between Alaska and where was this at? Um, Mexico. There should have been some in California. There should have been some up around Oregon, but we're not seeing that. Now, Corinne, Utah had a 2.8, and White Cities, which is normal for them to get them, of a 2.7. The islands had 3.7s. So uh, let's see, this one's over in Malta. Malta, the home of the Giants. I don't know if you guys knew that. The home of the Giants is Malta. Also, the home of the mob. Uh, I had, get this, I had a family member a long time ago that got married to a guy that his family was from Malta. And he was telling me that he didn't know about his parents, but his grandparents were a big part of controlling like Italy mob. Uh, Crazy. I thought that was just in the movies, but I guess not. Or back in history, in the 30s. But I didn't think it was all the way into 70s and 80s. Oh, no, I learned something new every day. All right, so Alaska, Meadow Lakes, Alaska 3.7. Um, let's see. Um, Now, the Kermadec Islands, this is where we've been getting some big ones at 5.2. Now, what I've noticed is they've been bouncing back and forth from Mexico to real close to Tonga. And then Tonga had that underground one that seems to be bouncing it back and forth. Well, now that both of them have had it, now I've been seeing a triangle effect. And I'm no earthquake person, but I've been noticing this triangle. So I'm thinking right about where we see in Fox Islands, the Aleutian Islands, they had a 4.6. I'm suspecting that we might see a 7 up there around, if not in Alaska, on the Aleutian Islands. But we're going to see. We'll see what happens over the next few days. But these 7s are really growing. Uh, and hello to Linda G. Um, Boy, we're up. Our temperatures are rising back up. Karen says it's around 35 in Philadelphia. We're up, I think, to 60 today, and we're not got the freezing temperatures. Get this. Last night I left the faucets dripping, and we had a low of 45, and I'm like, I'm just getting used to having my faucets drip, I guess. So, all right. British fishermen. I know you guys want to know about the carrot. Well, get this. This is he caught, and he says it's really odd that when he seen this big orange fish start getting closer to the shore to where he was going to get it out of the water, he couldn't believe it, and he thought, "How did I catch a koi?" Well, then he got to looking at it, and he said, "No, this is a goldfish," he said. And get this, it was 70 pounds. And come to find out, the locals call it the carrot. And they wanted him basically to throw it back. This was in Champagne, France. And they do have a goldfish in their waters. And I can't play you the video because it's copyrighted, but there's the fish. So that's a goldfish. So over in France, they don't. There's koi in the water. There's goldfish in the water, and of course they let everything grow big there and leave them alone. And if it's the bigger they get, the more they want you to put the fish back. So, all right. Now folks, today is kind of a sad day, not only for my bird. But on this day in history, November 22nd, 1963, JFK, the 35th president, is assassinated. I don't know if you guys remembered, but it is still prayers to his family. And Martin Luther King. Um, uh, Now, this is a little bit of history that I found out through Martin Luther King Jr.'s family, that when Martin Luther King Jr. had talked to Kennedy for the last time. And it was, I think they said it was November 18th, 17th, 18th, real close to my birthday. They said that he was going to announce on the beginning of the year that he was going to change parties. But unfortunately, he was unable to do it. So on this day, November 22nd, this is my granddaughter's birthday today, too. Happy birthday, Mercedes. My son, it's my son's daughter, that he passed away, and he says, "Mom, I'm going to name her Mercedes." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, then I'll always own a Mercedes." He always wanted to own a Mercedes car, and a beautiful, beautiful girl, looks just like him. All right. So on this day, uh, uh, basically JFK was assassinated. Who did it? Was it the CIA? Was it the Bush family? Was it? Um, was it Cuba? Was it the Russians? I mean, today more than likely we'd hear Russia, Russia. But sad day today. Um, all right. So nobody really knew about this plane crash, and they said none of the media covered it, and this rescue team um, was very very sure that once people saw, and I thought, did you guys wreck it on purpose? But no, they didn't. It was an aircraft carrying not only three people but 53 rescue dogs, and Pewaukee, Wisconsin. And thankfully, everyone survived with the passengers, and some dogs sustained only minor injuries. Um, and so this was a plane full of rescue dogs that crashed. And they thought, it was a miracle that everybody made it through the crash. And so they're calling them the crash dogs. And they thought for sure that many people would want to adopt these uh, uh, beautiful dogs. And so far, nothing. But it did happen. And the flight was um, they are at risk adoptable dogs to the southern United States. Um, and basically, they did have some going into shelters. Now, uh, uh, when I see folks, this is just so heartbreaking. Um, when I see at risk dogs, I know what they are. They're pit bulls. And I have talked to so many animal shelters across the country that are packed with pit bulls, and they have to put them at risk. Sometimes they lie to the public, but they're getting caught up, and the ASPCA is now having to say that these are at risk dogs. So, um, uh, these dogs are having a hard time being adopted. Now, not all of them are. There's some that are other types of dogs, but they said it's a miracle, and they're going to call them the miracle refugees. So I thought it was a kind of a cool little story, and bringing at-risk adoptable dogs to shelters all across the country. Just be careful, folks, because you don't know. At risk means they usually don't get along with kids. They don't get along with other dogs. These are a dog that would have to be in a home, uh, according to the shelters. Now, I'm going on what they're saying. It have to be in a home that they are the only animal, because they say most pit bulls don't like cats or other small animals. Now, don't send me hate mail about pit bulls. I'm just going on what the shelters say. I'm not going on my own opinion. My own opinion is go if you're going to get a pit bull, get it as a puppy. I had a Rottweiler. I got him as a little puppy. I got him at 12 weeks old, and he had no clue he was a Rottweiler. He didn't act like one at all. He acted like my bird dog. I even taught him in sign language. And he got along great with my cats. But the thing about it, if you said he was a poodle, he would show you teeth. He was not a poodle. He knew that, and he did that on his own. All right, I'm gonna. Boy, I'm getting short for time. Bison. They have had problems with the bison, with Montana, Wyoming, um, parts of Utah. Um, they're all over in the midsection of the states, mostly Montana and Wyoming. And they have been able to breed them back to almost where they're not on the hit list no more. Now, the other good thing is the same thing with the whales. Um, they have had 5 baby whales in the Atlantic and the Pacific. I believe this is what it was said. that have been born this year, which means we are now seeing an increase of whales. Not only that, but the bison. Uh, as long as we don't hurt them and throw junk in the ocean or um, let them be bison, um, they will reproduce. They will reproduce. Um, Now, a lot of, we're looking at a lot of nuclear plants. It's been closing down due to, or not closing down, but under construction. Well, California's Diablo Canyon, um, they're getting $1.1 billion of federal money. Infrastructure, guess what? I finally found something they're funding, and they sent it to California of all places. Um, and much needed um, this here, they were going
California's
to have
Diablo Canyon nuclear power plant.
Stop this. They have needed to fix this for a very long time. I left in 96, and they were talking the Diablo County Canyon um, nuclear plant was in need of repairs in 1996. Look how long it took. That's a long time. Too long. And it's been leaking all this time. So now, thankfully, they have now got their money to be able to fix it so it can run. Now, I thought we weren't going to use nuclear, but now the feds have just sent them money. So here we go.
California's Diablo Canyon nuclear power plant, scheduled to close by 2025, is getting a second chance. The White House announced Monday that the plant is eligible for a grant worth up to $1.1 billion. The money comes from the bipartisan infrastructure law passed earlier this year and is part of President Joe Biden's efforts to promote clean energy. The Diablo Canyon plant is located on the Pacific coast, about halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco. Pacific Gas and Electric, which owns the plant, says it supplies about 10% of the state's electricity. Overall, more than 50 nuclear power plants in the United States generate about 20% of the nation's electricity each year. Many have shut down in recent years, but concerns over rising greenhouse gas emissions and climate change driven by the burning of fossil fuels is prompting renewed support.
Yeah, so there we go. We're going to see it being fixed. And they were saying that nuclear was not in consideration. Now they just did it. And then boy, this was buried. And then lo and behold, I found it on the Weather Channel. I thought, wow, they have it on the Weather Channel. And I went looking in the news again, and I found one small little article on it, and that was it. They're not trying to promote. They're not trying to let anybody know this is going on. Now, dolphins lick, they say. Dolphins can identify their friends by taste. That's how. It's not by sound, not by the squeaky stuff they do. They say it's by taste. And the dolphins are very friendly with one another, and they bump noses and they taste. And they know their friends and family by how they taste. So they are licking, they say. And they said that it was several clues that got them to look at what was going on, including whistles to how they play. But lo and behold, we didn't know that, we hear their squeaks, we hear them chatter, but we never knew that a bottlenose dolphin use their sense of taste to discern their friends. And get this, they also, by their urine, the smell of the urine of another dolphin. I didn't know that one. So they lick. And if they don't lick you, it's because you're not their friend and you're not their family, and they know it. They do not lick humans, it says. They know that the human is not of their kind, and they're only going and licking friends and family. So yeah, keep licking to friends and family. Now, did you hear? I hate to report on Epstein on the show, but Epstein's one of his victims. The judge just sided with her to release the names of prominent um, people that went to Epstein Island, and there's supposedly a list of 1,200 names from politicians to the very rich to Hollywood. Hello, Susan. Um, oh, now, girls, why do you want to do stuff like that? That's just, um, um, did you get her, Karen? Why get on the show and do that? I mean, I love showing comments, but why be a pervert during? And she put it up there during Epstein too, so she must like Epstein. I don't know. You guys didn't see it. I did. Yeah, well, they did in chat. All right. So these dolphins, um, you know what, folks? They found out that they lick more when they're in captivity. And even though they see their same dolphins every single day, they said they get to where they're greeting one another or family and friends that they call it um, by licking. But now get this: an enemy, they will try to harm it. They try to harm it. They get up close and then they try to hurt it. So, all right. Hello to Susan. All right. So we're down to boy. Yesterday was horrible, Karen. So today I found some that's maybe to make a day a little bit better on this list. Um, uh, and then I got to read them and I was like, oh boy, these aren't what some people think are funny may not be funny to all of us. So if I it says, if I wanted to commit suicide, I'd climb up to the height of your ego and jump down to your IQ level. 9 out of 10 voices in my head say I'm crazy. The 10th is humming uh, uh, the song that never ends. Oh boy, would you imagine that in your head? A bag of money could be a symbol not only of wealth, but also you could be a bank robber. The bank is the place that will lend you money if you can prove that you don't need it. A broad smile is a cooler way of showing your enemies that you have teeth. Okay. A jellyfish has existed as a species for 500 million years, surviving just fine without a brain. That gives hope to quite a few people. According to my mirror, I'm pregnant. The father is Nutella. Nutella, is that what it's called? The peanut butter chocolate stuff. Oh boy, yeah, mine's donuts. His name is Sir um, Maple Glazed, or oh boy, I love fritters. It's probably Mr. Fritter. Yeah. Alcohol does not solve my problems. That then again, neither does milk. All my life, I thought the air was for free. That was until I bought a bag of crisps. Uh, any of us have the capacity to light up a room. Some when they have to enter, others when they leave it. As long as cocoa beans grow on trees, chocolate is the fruit for me. Birthdays are good for you. Statistics show that people who have the most live the longest. Oh, good grief. Come over to the dark side. We've got candy. No, no, cancel. What did they call that in court? Stricken it from the record. Yeah. Okay. Confessions may be great for your soul, but they are hell for your reputation. Did you see or possibly get a bad hairdo today? Um, do you argue with an idiot? He will drag you down to his level, beat you with your experience. Ah. Uh, do people talk about you behind your back? Well, if you know about it, one of the last times you see them, they say, simply fart and leave the room. Make sure it's a good one. I guess you gotta know and eat a bunch of burritos or something beforehand. Yeah. Uh, doesn't Expecting the unexpected make the unexpected expected. Mm. All right. Dogs have beloved masters. Cats have a waiting staff. Don't tell me the sky is the limit when there are footprints on the moon. Don't you wish they made a clap clap off device for some people's mouths? Oh, heck yeah. Hey, Karen, can you imagine the clap clap for Tony forever? Hmm. Everyone has the right to be stupid, but some abuse that privilege. Um, why this is a fart kind of thing today. It says when people you don't like hug you, just fart and walk away. It'll make them feel very strong when they hear it when they squeeze you. What? No, all right, no more fat jokes or fart jokes. Yeah, it was your mama so fat yesterday. Um, funny offense. With a face like yours, you have a good chance in a lawsuit against your parents. Funny is that you can't spell slaughter without laughter. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. Go bungee jumping. Your life started with a malfunctioning rubber. So it's only right you should end that way too. God created the world. Everything else is made in China. That's a fact, Jack. Um, he who laughs last is a bit of a slow thinker. Yeah. I mean, they're the last one to get the joke. I never, I thought about that for since I was a kid. He who laughs loud is, yeah. Wait a minute, they just didn't get the joke. All right. Help a woman when she's in trouble. She'll remember you when she's in trouble again. Here, have a tissue. There's still more BS left on your mouth. Oh, I'd like to remember that one. Mary, what do you think? I'd like to remember that one. Uh, I am an example to others, a bad example. No, I'm a fun example. That's what I think. I get enough exercise pushing my luck. I had loads to do today. Oh, well, so now I have loads to do tomorrow. Um, yeah, I'm getting news reports about that Epstein thing. I'm glad I told you guys. I heard it just a couple hours ago. And so I'm glad I'm able to get that news out to you about Epstein and his one of the women that he abused. I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that I don't know the answer. I refuse to have a battle of wits with an opponent so clearly unarmed. I speak fluent ironic with a solid sarcastic accent. So that is it, folks. Please subscribe. These were way better today. Some of the fart stuff, farting and yo mama being fat isn't funny. Uh, we're learning that, and so Tony Baloney. Um, So anyway, so subscribe and hit the bell and the like, and over on Facebook, hit follow and your like over there. So you can keep track of us. Hit the bell so that you will get a notification. Smash the bell. Hit it good. And always tell your friends and family about our show, or, even post us on your Facebook. So with that, folks, we will see you in a few minutes for news. And if not, then we will see you back. Just a reminder, there's no show on Thursday, so I can be with my family for Thanksgiving. Whether we do turkey or chicken noodle soup, I don't know. I'm waiting it out. All right. So you all take care and God bless. And we'll see you soon or see you tomorrow.